Subscribe to my channel for more stories. Now let's begin this one. I poured my life into our family farm, trusting my brother's bond until he claimed it as his own at the county auction, threatening our legacy, only for me to unveil a will that exposed his betrayal and reclaimed our heritage in front of everyone. At 35, I, Eva Larson, had woven my soul into the rolling fields of Maple Hollow, a small Iowa town where golden corn swayed under endless skies and the scent of fresh hay defined home. My passion was farming, our family's 150-acre Larson farm, a patchwork of corn, soybeans, and memories that I tended with fierce devotion. My husband, Owen, a carpenter with a gentle laugh and a knack for fixing tractors, was my pillar, his handcrafted barn doors a symbol of our shared dreams. Our son, Eli, aged 7, was our light, his love for chasing chickens and planting sunflower seeds filling our farmhouse with joy, his muddy boots a constant on our porch. Farming wasn't just my livelihood, it was my legacy. Growing up on Larson Farm, I'd learned to drive a combine before a car, my father's lessons about soil and seasons shaping my core. After Dad's death 4 years ago, I took over, pouring my savings into new equipment, turning the farm into a beacon of sustainable agriculture. My organic corn won awards at county fairs, and my community garden fed Maple Hollow's families. The Maple Hollow County Auction, an annual event settling land disputes and showcasing local pride, was my crucible, a chance to clear a tax lien on the farm and secure Eli's future. My brother, Ethan Larson, was a shadow over my success. At 38, Ethan was a charismatic real estate agent, his polished suits and city charm masking a restless ambition. He'd left Maple Hollow at 18, chasing wealth in Des Moines, rarely visiting until Dad's passing. Ethan always envied the farm, claiming Dad favored me, though he'd never worked to harvest. Last spring, he returned, offering to help with the farm's finances. "Let's save Larson Farm together, Ava," he said, his handshake firm. I shared our tax records, trusting family, never suspecting he'd use my openness to steal our heritage. The auction was weeks away, a looming deadline to settle a $20,000 tax lien Dad had left unpaid. I threw myself into preparations, selling surplus grain and hosting farm tour to raise funds. Ethan offered to negotiate with the county, promising to secure a payment plan. "You focus on the fields," he said, his emails full of assurances. I agreed, unaware he'd turned my trust into a bid for betrayal. The Maple Hollow County Auction transformed the town hall into a tense arena, its wooden benches packed with farmers, officials, and locals, the air thick with coffee and anticipation. My plan was ready. I'd raised $15,000, enough for a down payment on the lien, with a loan promise from our bank. Owen set up a display of our corn, Eli's sunflower pots adding a child's charm. I wore my denim overalls, my farm ledger open, ready to plead our case to Mr. Harold Jensen, the county clerk whose gavel would decide our fate. The auction began with small lots tractors, grazing rights before reaching Larson Farm. I stood, ready to present my payment plan, when Ethan strode to the podium, his suit gleaming, a document in hand. "I'm claiming Larson Farm," he declared, waving what he called a title transfer signed by Dad. "Ava's been mismanaging it. I'm the rightful heir." The room gasped, his words a blade to my heart. My farm. I'd sown every seed, fixed every fence, carried Dad's dream through drought and debt. I pushed through the crowd, Owen and Eli trailing, my voice trembling. "That's our farm, Ethan," I shouted, pointing to his document. He turned, his smile cold. "Ava's confused," he said, chuckling. "Dad gave it to me before he died." The crowd murmured, some nodding, others eyeing me with pity. Mr. Jensen frowned, scanning the paper. "It looks valid, Ava," he said, his tone heavy. "Do you have proof otherwise?" My heart sank. Dad's will, naming me the farm's heir, was locked in our safe at home. I had no proof here. My trust in Ethan shattered in the hall where I'd once won blue ribbons. Owen's face was thunder, his arm around Eli, who whispered, "Is our farm gone, Mommy?" My chest tightened, humiliated in Maple Hollow's heart, our legacy teetering under Ethan's lies. We left the auction in a daze, the crowd's whispers trailing us to our farmhouse, where Eli's toy tractors lined the shelves. At home, Eli climbed into my lap, tears in his eyes. "Will we lose the chickens, Mommy?" he asked, his voice small. I hugged him tightly, promising, "No, sweetheart, it's still ours," but fear and rage churned inside. Owen, usually so steady, was fierce, pacing the kitchen. "He doesn't take our farm, Ava," he said. "We'll prove it's yours." I couldn't sleep, Ethan's voice claiming my farm echoing like a taunt. I wasn't a lawyer, but Dad had taught me to keep records. His will was my proof, a notarized document signed 2 years before his death, naming me the farm's sole heir. I found it in our safe, its pages crisp, Dad's signature bold. I also found emails with our lawyer, Ms. Ellen Harper, confirming the will's validity, dated before Ethan's return to Maple Hollow. Then I remembered Ethan's laptop, which he'd used at our house for financial planning. Feeling a twinge of guilt, I checked our shared family cloud drive, where he'd uploaded tax documents. A folder labeled L_properties held a bombshell and email to a Des Moines developer, pitching his Larson farm for a subdivision, with my crop yields attached. Another message, to a cousin, bragged, "Ava won't know I took the farm till it's sold." I also found a text thread where he asked for my ledger scans for the county, his intent clear in hindsight. I called Mr. Carl Olson, a retired farmer who'd known Dad for decades. Carl had witnessed Dad's will signing, praising my work on the farm. "Ethan was always jealous," he said, his voice heavy. Owen recorded his statement, his words a key piece. I also reached out to Ms. Leela Tran, a bank teller who'd processed my loan application. She'd overheard Ethan asking about the farm's lien, hinting he'd take over if I failed. Her testimony, recorded discreetly, was another anchor. I contacted Ms. Ellen Harper, our lawyer, who drafted Dad's will. Ellen reviewed my evidence will, emails, Carl's statement, Leela's testimony and nodded. "Ethan's title transfer is a forgery," she said. "You can sue, but exposing him at the auction's closing will hit harder. His ego thrives on control." I agreed. I wanted Ethan to face the farmers he'd deceived, the town that trusted him, the community that loved our farm. Over 5 days, Owen and I worked late, our kitchen a war room of evidence, Eli asleep upstairs, dreaming of the sunflowers he loved. Dad's will was the heart of the case, its notarized seal, Dad's handwritten note to me on the back, a clear claim to Larson Farm. I scanned every page, printed Ethan's emails, his developer pitch, and his incriminating texts, all notarized by Ellen. Owen found a deleted voicemail Ethan left for a county official, claiming Ava's unfit to manage the farm. A tech-savvy neighbor, Mr. Ben Carter, recovered it, agreeing to record a statement. Ethan planned to take credit. Carl's testimony grew stronger. He recalled Ethan arguing with Dad years ago, demanding a share of the farm. Another farmer, Miss Clara Hayes, had overheard Ethan at a grain co-op, saying he'd sell Ava's land for profit. Clara's recorded statement was clear. Ethan's been plotting for years. Ellen helped us create a presentation, weaving will scans, emails, and testimonies into a damning timeline. It slides a fortress of truth. Eli, sensing our fight, brought a quiet strength. One night, he handed me a clay sunflower he'd shaped, painted with yellow petals. "For the bad man to see," he said, his eyes fierce. I hugged him, tucking the sunflower into my bag for luck. We learned Ethan's motives. He was drowning in debt, his real estate deals failing, his lifestyle outpacing his income. Larson Farm's value was his escape, but he'd underestimated me. The auction's closing session, where the lien would be finalized, was our stage. I emailed Mr. Jensen, requesting to clarify our claim, copying Ethan. He called, laughing, "Ava, you're embarrassing yourself." His arrogance fueled me. "See you Saturday," I replied, my voice calm but steel. The closing session was a crucible of Maple Hollow's spirit, the town hall packed with farmers, families, and officials, the air thick with tension and hope. Ethan's claim had made him a favorite, his charm swaying some locals, his developer pitch whispered among speculators. My small display table was quiet, but my resolve was iron. Owen stood beside me, Eli clutching my hand, his clay sunflower in my pocket, a talisman against the nerves knotting my gut. Ellen and Carl were in the crowd, ready to back us, while Clara and Ben nodded from the sidelines, their support a quiet anchor. Mr. Jensen opened the session, his voice steady, outlining the lien's terms. Ethan stepped to the podium, ready to finalize his claim, his suit impeccable, but I raised my hand. "I have evidence to share," I said, stepping forward, my ledger in hand. I connected my laptop to the projector, the screen glowing with Dad's will, his signature bold, naming Ava Larson as heir. "Ethan forged his claim," I said, my voice steady despite the gasps. I walked through the evidence notarized will emails to the developer. Carl's recording, Ethan was jealous. Clara's voice followed. He planned to sell Ava's land. The crowd turned, some booing Ethan, others whispering, farmers like Mr. Olson glaring. Ethan's face paled, his stammered defense, "It's a misunderstanding." Drowned by murmurs, I showed his voicemail, Ben's recovery notes, and my ledger's records. Ellen presented the notarized documents, her voice firm. "Ava's claim is verified, Mr. Jensen's frown deepened, his eyes on Ethan, who slumped, his charm useless. He voided Ethan's claim, clearing the lien with my payment plan, and declared Larson Farm mine, his gavel of validation. "We honor truth," he said. Ethan left the hall, head bowed, his scheme shattered in Maple Hollow's unforgiving light. Ethan's reputation collapsed like a brittle stalk in Maple Hollow's tight-knit community, where trust is as sacred as the soil. The farmers' co-op, once his ally, shunned him. Banks froze his accounts, and his real estate license was suspended after the auction scandal. Rumors whispered he'd fled to Omaha, scraping by without jobs, hauling boxes, driving delivery vans, his dreams of wealth buried under the weight of his deceit. I didn't gloat, his fall brought me no joy. My joy was Larson Farm, its fields thriving under golden sunlight, our organic corn, a county staple, its sweet kernels gracing every local market. The cleared lien, won through the auction's prize money, secured Eli's future, a college fund now tucked safely away, a promise of roots and wings. Maple Hollow's pride in us glowed, and a regional co-op approached, eager to distribute our harvest, a nod to Dad's enduring vision. We were built in Maple Hollow's warm embrace. Owen and I hosted a community harvest festival, our fields open to families who laughed as they picked corn, their baskets heavy with our bounty. Eli, my 7-year-old, led his friends through sunflower mazes he'd helped plant, his grin a healing balm for the scars Ethan's betrayal left behind. Carl, a grizzled farmer with a heart of gold, organized a weekly farmers market, naming me its lead. Mentoring young growers, teaching them Dad's tricks for soil health felt like tending his legacy. Clara and Ben joined my co-op board, Clara's sharp mind for numbers and Ben's knack for logistics strengthening our foundation. Inspired by Eli's love of fall, I expanded our garden, planting a pumpkin patch that sprawled across the south field, its vibrant orange a beacon of hope. Each row, each vine, was a step toward a future we were sowing together, seed by seed. The betrayal left a wound. Ethan had been more than a brother, he'd been my partner in childhood tractor races, our laughter echoing across these same fields. Those memories, now bittersweet, stung like frost on tender shoots, a reminder to guard what mattered. My family, my farm, the land that held our story. Owen, ever attuned to my quiet moments, pulled me aside one night under Maple Hollow's starry sky, Eli asleep inside, his toy tractor clutched in his hand. "You're our roots, Ava," Owen said, his voice steady, his hand warm in mine. "You saved our farm." I kissed him, grateful for his unyielding strength, for Eli's radiant light, for the fields that were ours again, free of Ethan's shadow. A year later, a letter arrived, postmarked from Omaha, Ethan's handwriting shaky and uneven. "I'm sorry, Ava," he wrote. "I was desperate and broke our family. Your farm's beautiful, a legacy I should have honored." I read it in the barn, the scent of hay and earth grounding me, Owen leaning against a beam, Eli's latest sunflower a bright, hand-painted bloom resting on my desk. I didn't reply, not yet. The pain was still tender, a bruise that ached when pressed. But I saved the letter, tucking it into a tin with old seed packets, a reminder that brothers can falter, but roots grow stronger than lies. Maple Hollow had taught me that, its people a tapestry of support, their hands helping us replant. One evening, as the harvest moon rose over Maple Hollow, casting a silver glow across our fields, I stood by the corn rows, their stalks rustling in the breeze. The air carried the sweet scent of earth and promise. Owen wrapped his arms around me, his warmth a steady anchor, while Eli skipped ahead, chasing fireflies that flickered like tiny lanterns. "Your farm's magic, Mommy," he called, his voice bright, his small hands cupping a glowing bug. I smiled, my heart swelling, full of love and resilience. The auction that nearly broke us had forged us stronger, its stakes a crucible for truth. My farm, our legacy, was no longer just a patch of dirt but a living testament, sown in sweat and truth, not theft. As Eli laughed, I knelt to touch the soil, feeling Dad's spirit in every grain, knowing we'd grow on.